we're going out.
Going out?
Yeah, the whole family's waiting for us.
Rod,
Dad was writing a speech of welcome when I rang off.
you're crazy. I've got to go on again.
It's all right, isn't it, Steve, if I bring her back by her next number?
No, Rod, I can't meet them like this. Oh, honey, can't you see?
I thought you wanted to meet them.
Yes, dear, but... Oh, I'd be scared to death.
Oh, just be yourself. If they don't like you, that's their hard luck.
They'll like her.
All right, I asked for it. I'll be back for my next number, Steve. Pray for me.
Good luck, kid.
Yes, don't oppose the boy. He'll come out of it. All right? If you want to take that easygoing attitude, he'll come out of it all right. With that girl in the family and our name all over the front page.
Exactly, Dad. This is serious.
But you haven't seen the girl yet. Must we see her to know what she is?
Darling, she's not as bad as you think.
Look here, Sig. You should have known about this. You're closer to Rod than we are.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
We're only his family. You're his best friend.
Why didn't you do something?
Well, I did what I could. At first, I tried to poison her mind, then I tried to poison his. And still, I couldn't get her for myself.
And he really intends to marry her?
I should say his intentions are disgustingly honorable.
Then I think we ought to let her know just how we feel unmistakably.
Yes, I think so, too.
Now, just a moment. We'll get nowhere if we take a severe attitude.
But why encourage her?
Why make a martyr of her?
Father's right. Don't you think so, Franklin?
No, I don't.
Franklin, I'm sorry to remind you that I'm still the nominal head of this family.
Now, look here, Father.
Now, Charles, Franklin didn't mean anything by that. We all want to do what you think is wisest. I shall be as cordial as I possibly can.
Mother, dear.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening, Rod.
Good evening.
Hello, Rod.
Well, here she is. This is Abby, Mother.
How do you do, Miss Fane?
It was awful to surprise you like this, but try and stop Rod when he wants to do something.
Yes, that's true. Of course, we're very pleased, I'm sure.
And this is Dad. He's not usually so funny-looking. He's only surprised.
A pleasant surprise. How do you do?
And this is my sister, Kay.
How do you do? I heard you sing only last week. I thought you were swell.
Thank you.
And this is Kay's husband, Count Armand Dubois.
Let me welcome you into the family.
Thank you.
I might even congratulate you.
You mustn't take Armand seriously.
Oh, but I do. After all, I am an outsider.
Oh, and this is my brother, Franklin.
How do you do?
And may I present Mr. Harold Sigrift.
Hello, Sig.
Abby. It's a small world, isn't it? Well, we just dropped in to say hello. Abby has to go on again in a little while.
Oh, that's too bad.
I really did love your singing, Abby. May I call you Abby?
Yes, do.
I want to ask you something, Rod. So what's the matter with you? Are you crazy?
Uh-huh. Absolutely insane about her.
But why? Why a blues singer in a nightclub?
What do you want me to marry? Schumann Hank?
Oh, don't be a fool.
Frank, I tell you, she's real. She's unspoiled. Besides which, I adore her.
Do you have to marry her to adore her?
Yes. Does that answer your question?
When do you plan getting married, Rod? Or did you intend to let us know?
Well, I didn't, but Abby insisted.
Oh, I didn't think it was fair for him to marry without his family's consent.
I think we all agree with you.
Not before June, I suppose.
No, that's a long time off.
We must ask Abby to dinner.
Yes, we must soon.
What night would suit you best?
We can arrange that later.
Well, you'll have to see me about that. You see, I have an option on all her dinner dates.
I'm afraid my dinner time is much too early. I'm a working girl, you know.
Oh, not now. You're going to quit, aren't you?
Oh, I don't think so yet.
Oh, Sig.
We'd better go.
Next time you must stay longer.
Well, after all, there's plenty of time, isn't there? A whole lifetime.
Why, certainly.
There ought to be something important to say, but the only thing I can think of is how nice it's been of you to have me here. Thank you.
Good.
We'd better hurry.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Coming, Sig? Think I will. You know, I'm dying to hear what Abby thinks of you.
Charming young person, I think.
She's quite impossible. No breeding, no poise, nothing. I never saw anyone so ill at ease.
Well, Mother, after all, she was being thrown to the lions.
Charles, don't you think we were nice enough?
It's exactly enough. Unless she's a fool, she knows now what we think of her.
Try to be nice. Try to be nice. Say what you mean and mean what you're saying to me. Don't make me fall. Don't make me fall. Say what you mean and mean what you're saying to me. Look out now, there you go, telling me that you care. Don't you know that it isn't fair? Why break my heart, why break my heart? What'll it get you to break it apart? Say what you mean and mean what you're saying to me.
How'd she get over?
How does it matter how she got over?
Yeah, it sounds like it was a bust.
Is that what you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't.
Just a minute. You know Abby's a friend of mine, don't you?
Well, I don't think it's any of your business, Steve. But I love Abby.
So do I. The only reason we ain't married is because she won't have me.
I'm sorry, Steve. I didn't know that.
Oh, that's all right. I can take it. But I guess the kid knows her own mind. I just want to see she gets a break. Understand? She's entitled to a real high-class guy. Get me?
Yeah, Steve. I think I understand.
So before you go any further, just be sure you're high class.
Hello. Did I ever mention that I adore you?
No fooling.
On the level?
Why?
Why not?
Well, that makes one anyway.
What do you mean?
Oh, they made it pretty plain, sweet. It was thumbs down the minute I came in the door.
But there's nothing to worry about, dear. They'll come around all right.
Well, I didn't expect the keys to the city. Oh, no, they're dead against me.
Well, even if they are, what difference does it make?
I told you, I don't want you to choose.
This is no choice. I'm not even hesitating.
Sweet.
I mean it.
Oh, I know you do. But, dear, why do you want to marry me?
I happen to be terribly in love with you.
Is that enough?
Well, what more?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, worrying about your family. But it's an awful lot to fight.
We don't fight them, dear. We just, pay no attention.
You can't do that. You belong to them. You're part of them.
Part of that pack of snobs. Oh, can't you see how unimportant they are? Honey, if they don't like you, it's because you're too good for them.
Think you'll always say that?
Always. Darling, the family's out. From now on, it's you and I. You'll have me. Will you?
You and I.
I see your brother has dragged the family name in the mud.
Good for Rod. I wish I'd had his courage.
Too bad, sir. 3 generations to build up a name, and there it is.
Oh, these papers are simply revolting.
The afternoon papers are usually worse, ma'am.
That's pleasant.
She nabs millionaires. She gets a man. Banker son this, millionaire son that. Oh, they've certainly made me out a high-class gold digger.
You're not taking that seriously, are you?
Did you ever have such a thought about me?
Sure. Look at that hard face and those grasping lips. I think I'm entitled to a little grasping on our honeymoon, don't you?
I almost wish you didn't have any money or any mid-Victorian family. I don't want you to make sacrifices.
Sacrifices? I love them. I'll get up and close the windows every morning.
I hope you'll never be sorry.
Sorry. When I've got you.
But you don't need me.
Ah, but I do. You must forget that I'm a lonely orphan boy now.
It's all my fault.
Yep. Put those avaricious arms around my neck and keep quiet, will you? You've nothing to worry about, dear. You've got me, a big ocean liner, and in a few days you'll have Paris.
Paris. It's grand to be home again. Only we haven't a home, have
We'll have one sooner than you think.
we? Let's take a nice small party. Not too big. Oh, it'll be fun to finish it. I've got so many ideas about my own home. I've been saving them up a long time, darling. Look, there's Sig and Steve, too. Hello!
Oh, hey, hello, Sig!
Oh, darling.
Come on, down.
I beg your pardon?
Would you mind letting me through? I'm meeting the Spanish ambassador.
Sorry, I won't be a chance.
Well, there's Mrs. Dean. Come on. Will you stop a moment for a picture? Can I picture you, Mr. Dean?
No, Rod. They'll only print what they did before.
This don't make as good a shot.
Go on, scram if you don't want those cameras busted.
Hello, Steve.
Hello.
Hiya, kid. Hello, Sig.
Great to see you. Abby.
No, Sig, it's nice to see you.
We could just get through those customs by evening.
Oh, you don't need to worry. That's all taken care of. Hey, Mac, here's the folks I was telling you about. Get them through, will you?
Okay, Mr. Walsh. That's what it means to have influence.
See you later, folks.
Oh, don't go. Stevie, I want you to have lunch with us.
Yeah.
I'd like to, but I can't. I just came down to say hello. It's nice to have you kids back. Well, I'll be seeing you.
You bet, Steve.
Goodbye, dear. Well, I guess your family didn't forgive us.
This way. Come on, Sig.
The old homestead, folks. Decorated under the old master's personal supervision. Alfred, meet the bride and groom.
Ah, thanks, Alfred. I see you all again. Now, this is my wife, Abby. This is Alfred, Mary, and Christine. You know, they've been with the family for years. How did my mother come to let you go?
Well, I think that we're a sort of a wedding present.
Now I'll show you the house that Sig built.
How's your rheumatism, Alfred?
That's the thanks we ought to get. Do you want to see your place? Do you want to hear about Alfred's rheumatism?
Alfred has very interesting rheumatism.
In front of you, Mrs. Dean, you see the scene of many merry parties. At least they'd better be merry or I won't come.
Nice work, Sig. Nice work.
Like it, sweetheart?
Well, it sort of takes my breath away. I didn't expect it to be already finished.
Oh, it was darn nice of you, Sig. Would have taken us months to do this. Ha!
And now we come to the bedtime story.
Oh, it's simply perfect, Sig.
It's swell, Sig.
Oh.
Over there's the guest room. But I'll be glad to share it with a congenial guest.
Oh, you did a grand job, Sig. Everything's exactly right, isn't it, Abby?
You really like it, huh?
Oh, it's lovely.
Why aren't you drinking, darling?
I don't know.
You know, it positively gets on my nerves to see people working. I'll be on edge for days.
Here you are, Rod.
Oh, thanks, Steve. Sorry to trouble you, but the banks were closed.
Tony, let's have another round, will you?
None for me.
What's the matter, kid?
Nothing.
Don't you feel well?
Sure, I'm just tired. I want to go home, Rod.
Oh, what's wrong, darling?
Nothing's wrong.
Well, have a drink, then.
No.
Oh, come on, Abby. I know just what you want. Tony, mix her one of
I
those...
want to go home. That's what I want.
I think the lady wants to go home.
Now, cut it, Sig. All right, darling, if you want to go.
You don't have to bother. I know the way.
Don't be silly. Come on. Sorry, folks. So long, Steve.
So long.
I'll call you later, kid.
Darling, what's there to do at home?
We'll rest up for an hour or two so we can go someplace else.
What do you mean?
Well, that's what home means to you, doesn't it?
Darling, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes, that's the time other men are working.
So what?
But I suppose it isn't as important as drinking.
Well, get it off your chest.
What's the use? I've tried for 6 months, ever since we got back from Europe.
Oh, no, come on, darling. Not the misunderstood wife.
Yes. Oh, looks like it's been a mistake, doesn't it?
What's a mistake? Marrying me?
Well, we certainly let each other in for something, haven't we?
I don't get you, sweetheart.
We wanted different things out of marriage. What I wanted hasn't even started, and it doesn't look like it ever will.
I don't understand, darling. What's wrong?
Oh, Rod, it's been nothing but a merry-go-round. Running around all the time with different people we don't care anything about. Drinking, morning, noon, and night. I'm tired, Rod. I want to get off the merry-go-round. I want to start being married. If we can't, there's not much use going on.
Why didn't you tell me all this before?
Oh, I've tried. But you've always offered me another drink. I can't live like this. I always used to have my work. I was aiming for something. Now I haven't anything. Not even you. I've got to share you all the time, too.
If I'd have known about it, that little difficulty would easily have been fixed. I never thought about it, that's all. Things will be different from now on.
Rod, do you mean that?
You know I do. Anything you want goes.
Oh, darling. Oh, I felt so terrible down there at the office with all those people working so hard for just a little bit. And you were so much and laughing at them.
Well, you have to laugh things off sometimes.
I want you to stop laughing things off.
All right. When do I start?
Now. Let's spend an evening alone, just to see what it's like. Would you be bored?
With you, honey?
We'll have dinner together and stay home. How's that?
Fine. Let's make it a very special occasion. And dress for it.
I hope Alfred doesn't drop dead when he hears we want dinner. Alfred! Alfred!
Sig's all right, but...
No buts. Sig's 100%. You don't know him, that's all, Abby. That guy Hemingway said it. He said to have stuff was to have grace under pressure. Well, that's Sig. Grace under pressure. Who'd ever know he didn't have a cent? Whistling in the dark, that's all.
Oh, stop fooling yourself. Sig's no good to anybody in this world except Sig.
No, don't run him down, honey. He's too good a friend of mine.
He's all right to have a good time with.
You couldn't pay him a higher compliment.
Oh, Rod, he's an idler and a waster. You surely don't want to be like him.
Why not?
Well, you can't spend your life having a good time.
Well, I can try.
I'm serious, Rod.
So am I. What's the sense in working if I don't have to?
You do have to, for your self-respect. You should be able to say, this money is mine. I earned it. It's a grand feeling.
But we don't need any more money.
No, darling, but I need to be proud of you.
Oh. And you're not now. Is that it?
I could be. You can make everybody proud of you.
You're all I care about.
Oh, honey.
Just holding down a job would make all that difference, huh?
All the difference in the world.
Well, what would you say if I went downtown tomorrow and gave Dad the shock of his life?
I'd say you're the sweetest thing in the world.
Well, I'm the sweetest thing in the world, that's all.
Oh, darling.
Good evening, Alfred. So thanks for going right out. Hey!
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Rod, Abby, where are you?
Good.
Hey, come out from behind that bar, Soaks. Where are you?
We're in here. Hello, Sig.
Hey, what is this? Maid's night out?
Have you ever tried the joys of a simple life, Mr. Seagriff? The pure thrill of a home-cooked meal and the slippers by the fire.
How about a slipper full of scotch?
Help yourself.
I have a bevy of thirsty women out there.
You play host to them, will you?
Okay, George, be the bartender, will you? What are your plans for tonight?
Well, Abby and I are sort of staying at home.
What?
Yes, nothing special to do tonight.
Nothing special to do? Well, the scandals are opening tonight.
Darling, did you hear that? I didn't know that. I haven't missed a scandal since I was 16.
Rod, I thought tonight we...
I know, but...
But you promised.
But, darling, the scandals. Get Tim on the phone, will you, and order seats.
Beat you to it, kid. There's 8 at the box office.
7. Count me out.
But, Abby...
Why? Well, what's the matter, Abby?
Count me out. Rod and I were going to spend an evening alone for once.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll go. I didn't understand we weren't wanted.
Oh, don't go on my account. I'm sure Rod would rather see the scandals.
Rod, Abby. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hello, Joan. Hello, Mona. Wait, Sig.
Poor old henpecked Dean.
Listen, darling, I know you're disappointed changing our plans at the last minute, but you shouldn't talk to Sig that way.
Why not?
Well, for one thing, he's a friend of mine.
Friend? Huh.
I meant what I said about Sig at dinner.
And I meant what I said, only it wasn't half enough.
I think it was too much.
Who is this Sig? What sort of influence has he got over you? The minute he comes in, you forget all about me.
I don't see any harm in going to the theater.
It isn't that. It's the way he's running your life and trying to run mine. Well, I won't have it. I don't want his friendship.
Well, I do.
Well, go on out with him, then, if that's what you want in your life. Don't let me stop you.
All right. I won't. Let's go.
There goes my drink.
We're off the scandals.
Hey.
long time for that.
Okay, kid. We're home.
Oh? Who wants to go home?
It's too early to go.
Look. Look. It isn't even dawn yet. Who wants to...
Shh. We don't want to wake Abby.
Come on, Sig. Let's... Shh. Listen. If there's one thing I pride myself on, I can carry my own liquor. Come on, Sig. Let's have another drink. Come on, let's have another drink.
Come on, kid. Let's get to your room. Come on, you can make it.
With your help, he can make anything. Must be marvelous to have a friend like you.
Aren't we getting a little personal?
If getting personal had any effect on you, you wouldn't be here.
When I said personal, I made a mistake. What I really meant was common.
You don't know how common I can be.
Oh, yes, I do, baby. Don't forget, I knew you when.
Get out of here.
A pleasure.
Oh, Rod. Come on, honey. Wake up. Baby, you've got to get to bed.
No, I won't do that. No, I'm making no announcement of my plans at the present. Next week, perhaps.
Mrs. Dean is outside, sir.
No, my wife?
Mr. Rodney's wife.
Oh, well, send her in. What does she want?
Money, probably. Sig tells me they're not getting along so well.
Think she's ready to call it off?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Ah. Now, you wait here and listen to what she has to say.
How are you?
How do you do? Oh, Abby, haven't seen you some time.
No, not since the time we met.
No. No, that's right. That's right. How's Rodney?
Thank you. I came to see you about him.
Nothing wrong, is there?
I'd rather talk to you alone.
But this is Rod's brother.
Yes, I know.
Oh, I don't think there's any harm in his hearing what you have to say. Now, what is it, please?
You're ruining Rod's life, that's what it is.
Ruining his... Just how?
The money you're giving him. I came to ask you to stop it.
Well, that's an unusual request, I must say. Yes?
Mr. Blake on the phone.
Oh, put him on. Excuse me. Hello? That's strange. She came in second at Belmont last week. What did the veterinary say? Nonsense. Get Hirschford on the phone. He'll know. Well, get her in condition, that's all. Wants me to tell him what's the matter with her. What am I paying him for?
I'll take care of that, Dad.
Now, what's this terrible state of affairs you're talking about, child? I've seen no evidence of it.
You never see him, that's why. I'm married to him. So far, my marriage has been one long drunk.
Oh, I don't want to be unkind, but perhaps Rod's unhappy in his marriage. Perhaps...
Perhaps he doesn't love me, you mean?
Well,
He loves me all right. If he didn't, I'd left him long ago. I wouldn't be playing nursemaid to a drunkard or keeping him out of gambling joints or away from his wild friends.
His friends or yours?
His. People like Sig.
Oh, come. Aren't you exaggerating?
Exaggerating when I... Well, let it go at that. But still, I ask you, won't you help Rod?
Of course I will. But why should I refuse him money?
Oh, I don't mean that, Mr. Dean. I only want him to do something for it. If he had to come down here every day and work.
All right. Send him down.
Well, but you can't do it that way.
No?
You'll have to be tactful.
Well, how would you handle the situation?
Well, if you could go to dinner alone with him and sort of ask his advice about things like it meant something, and make out that you need him here, that you want him to follow in your footsteps and all that, you know.
Yes, of course.
He has ability, Mr. Dean. I know he has. It's just that nothing's expected of him.
Yeah? Oh, Hirschford. Whitney had a mare with the same trouble. Yeah. Now, look here, Hirschford. You come right over, and we'll discuss it. Yes. Get Gerald Whitney on the wire, please. Yes, and when Mr. Hirschford gets here, send him right in. Now, don't you worry. We'll straighten Rodney out, all right? I'm going to catch the 5 o'clock train for Washington. I should be there
You'll talk to Rodney before you go.
No, that's impossible. I have an important conference. But I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get him away from his wild crowd. Now, you and Rodney go down to Havana or someplace. And when I get back in a few days, well, I'll talk to him.
What's this for?
Oh, a little something for your trip.
You have time enough for Hirschford, but you can't spare 5 minutes for your own son.
But I said...
A racehorse means more to you than Rodney's future is life. I'm trying to undo all the harm that you've done in 26 years. What help do I get? Go ahead. Maybe it's someone who can tell you about your horse's headache.
Oh. Oh, thanks, Alfred. This is a lifesaver. Oh, gosh. Oh, what time is it, Alfred?
It's 2 o'clock, sir. Tuesday.
Oh, I must have been pretty tight last night. Was I, Alfred?
Oh, a matter of opinion, sir.
Yeah. What's your opinion?
Well, if you'll pardon me, sir, I should say you had a glow.
Oh, where's Mrs. Dean?
She went out at noon, sir.
Oh, Alfred.
Yes, sir.
Order some flowers from Mrs. Dean, will you?
I took the liberty of doing that already, sir. She was quite upset last evening.
Thanks, Alfred. Thanks. Oh, and Alfred, how about a little, pick-me-up?
You said the last time not to give it to you, sir.
That's right, I did, didn't I? Well, I mean it. I don't want it.
Yes, sir.
Alfred, I'll take that.
Very well, ma'am.
Hello?
I brought you your morning coffee.
Say, have you felt the way I do? Well, go on. Tell me what you think of me. I deserve it. Fine condition to be coming home in, Mr. Dean. Fine time to get up, Mr. Dean. Fine state of affairs in general. Well, go on. I couldn't feel any worse than I do.
Maybe here's something to improve things.
Where'd you get this?
Your father sent it to you.
When did you see my father?
Today, I went to have a talk with him about you. It's funny, my going to see your father, isn't it?
You took a lot on yourself, didn't you?
I was worried about your future. I thought maybe he might be, too.
I suppose you told him I'd been drinking.
I mentioned it.
Well, don't ever do it again.
Don't worry. I know when I'm beaten.
What are you doing?
What does it look like? I'm leaving you.
Don't be foolish. Don't do something you're going to be sorry for later on.
There isn't room for me in your life. You proved that last night.
Well, that was in the heat of argument. I only did that because of what you said.
Then you'll always go on doing it because I'll always go on saying the same thing. I can't change any more than you can, so I'm leaving you and your friend Sig to do what you want.
I want you.
You said that last night.
I mean it this time. I meant it then. A fellow's liable to do anything when he's sore.
Makes it just too bad for anybody who tries to help you.
Nobody ever tried before. Maybe that's why it's not so easy to take. If you leave me, I wouldn't know what to do. I'd just be running around in circles.
I've been running around in circles ever since I married you.
Don't cry.
Do you think it's easy for me to leave you?
You weren't going to leave me, honey. Never mind what's happened before. I'll come through for you if you'll just give me the chance.
Rod, don't say that unless you mean it.
I do mean it, dear.
Then go down and see your father before the 5 o'clock train goes and ask him for a job.
Ask him. I'll tell him.
And tell him for me, darling, I hope his horse feels better.
Come here to me.
Hold me tight, darling.
My father in...
He's very busy right now. He's catching the 5 o'clock train to Washington.
But if the Senate want to know how Dean and Company do business, we'll tell them. We've got nothing to be ashamed of.
Yes, but that income tax situation is going to be played up by the papers.
Well, let them play it up. Do they expect us to pay taxes on our losses? Hold, Rod. Come for me.
Sorry to break in on you, Dad, but I had to see you.
Sorry, son. I'm catching a train in 10 minutes.
Well, this won't take a second. I want a job.
Well, can't you wait till I get back?
Well, I want to go to work now.
Fine. Willing to start at the bottom?
Anything.
Griffith, will you look after him?
Yes, sir.
Good luck, son. See you in 2 weeks.
So long, Dad.
When do you want to start, Mr. Rodney?
Tomorrow morning.
9 o'clock.
Check.
Mr. Higgins, this is Mr. Rodney Dean.
Oh, yes.
How do you do, Mr. Dean?
Glad to know you.
Well, then, I'll leave you to Mr. Higgins.
Well, thanks very much.
Glad to have you with us, Mr. Dean.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
I'm starting you in over here for a while.
Oh. Well, it's a big one anyway.
One of our boys was promoted last week. This is Mr. Riley. Joe, this is Mr. Rodney Dean.
How do you do?
Glad to know you.
He's coming into this department. Start him in on the daily records, will you?
Sure.
Lots of luck to you. And if you need anything...
Thanks very much.
Think you can make it?
All it needs is a rail.
That's funny.
Thanks.
Well, here you are. The white ones are the daily records, see? These blue ones are practically the same, only they're made out after the orders are executed. Nearly all of them checked, see? 100, 100. 500, 500. See?
Well, it's a little complicated, but I guess I can do it.
Well, sometimes you come to one that doesn't check.
That sounds interesting.
You lay them aside.
Then what?
You don't bother with them.
Oh.
They're for the boys at the desk.
This is more difficult than I thought. What happens when I finish with them? Do I total them?
No. The boys on the machines do that.
Oh.
You just check.
Joe.
Huh?
What do you do when you're on the verge of insanity?
Go take a smoke.
I've had 6 already.
Well, you can always lose 5 minutes over the water cooler.
Water isn't my idea of a beverage after 20,000 of these.
Mine either.
Mr. Franklin Dean wants to see you, sir.
Oh, thanks. Joe.
Huh?
Don't check any of those while I'm gone. I have a sentimental attachment for them.
Hello, sucker.
Hello, Sig. What are you doing here?
Oh, just inspecting. How's the career?
All right, I guess. Do you want to see me, Frank?
No, I just thought you might want a breathing spell.
Oh, you're a lifesaver.
Come, fugitive. Back to your chain gang.
Lay off, will you, Sig?
What's the matter? Don't you like your work? Aren't you conscious of the dignity of labor?
I'm not conscious. I'm goofy. I've checked 65,200 and umpty-ump papers in the last 13 days. I've worn out a thumb turning slips. Not to mention what I've done to myself sitting. Frank, what is this racket of starting at the bottom? How did you stand it?
Me? I'm no idiot. I started at the top.
And look at him. He's still there.
How'd you learn the business?
What business? What do you have to know to be a vice president? All I have to do is sign my name 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah, but you're a vice president.
All together, boys, he's a vice president. So what?
Well, he sits in on the meetings. That means something, doesn't it?
I used to think so. But I found that all that I was expected to do was say yes. And nobody even listened to that.
You mean it's just a gag? That you don't really have anything to say?
Dad runs this institution. You'll find that out after a while.
And what am I doing out there on that treadmill?
You asked for it, didn't you?
I understand he got the job through his wife's influence.
My advice to you is to take this next office here. We could get in a lot of backgammon.
Gosh. What's it all about?
Excuse me. Hello? Yeah. Hello, Phil. Right. The 220. Okay.
Where are you going?
The vice president is going out to Meadowbrook to consult with his polo pony. Good luck.
There you are, you see. Now, if you were a vice president, we'd go out to Belmont this afternoon and take in the Metropolitan Handicap.
You know, Sig, pretty soon I'm going to be promoted to the adding machines. Then, after about 6 years of routine jobs, I might graduate to what Frank's doing.
But, my dear boy, isn't it a grand and glorious feeling to think that you're accomplishing something instead of just wasting your life having a darn good time?
Miss Callahan, will you do me a favor?
You bet I will, Mr. Dean.
If my wife telephones, just say that I'm busy in conference and I'll call back.
Yes, sir.
I'll phone you from outside.
I get you.
Thanks.
That's what it means to be a dean.
And this is what it means to be a Callahan.
How are you, Joe?
They are. Oh, gosh, they all look so pretty.
Hello, Abby. How are you, darling? Fine. I'm still at the office, honey. I'll be home in a little while, around 6.
You darling. Do you love me?
I'll say I do. All right, darling. So long. Hello, Mona. Hello, Jack.
Hello there.
Just get
Good to
in?
see you.
Hey, come on, they're at the post. Where'd you go?
I had to make a phone call.
Calling up the horse for some information?
You ask me, it's a nag named Abby.
Steve. Oh, Stevie, darling. What have you got around here at last? Where have you been all this time?
Oh, I've been taking for a ride at the tracks. Where have you been? I haven't seen you in a month.
It's a long story, Mr. Walsh. Now, come over here and sit on the couch now. Oh, no, you don't. See that? I got all set for you.
Oh, all the comforts of home, huh?
Oh, you wouldn't think so, the way you stay away.
Well, you've been kind of staying away from my place, haven't you?
Well, you see, Stevie, we haven't been going out much since Rod started to work.
Since what?
I guess it is a shock.
Well,
Oh, everything's changed, Stevie. No more drinking or running around. He goes to the office every day now.
well, since when did this happen?
For weeks.
Given up the races and the speaks,
Oh,
huh?
he hasn't time for those things anymore. Hardly any time for me, even.
Well, that's great. That's great, Abby.
He's going to get someplace, too.
I wouldn't be
Oh,
surprised.
absolutely. They think a lot of him.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
You know, Sig was more to blame than Rod. It was a wise thing to drop him. And all for me, too, Stevie. That's what gets me.
You're 100%, kid, and I'm for you. Remember that, will you?
Oh, that must be Rod now. I must see if the presents are wrapped. Stevie, keep him busy for a few minutes, will you?
Hello, Alfred. Oh, Mrs. Dean. Well, here's your tired business, man. Oh, hello, Steve.
Hello.
Hi, darling.
Have a hard day.
Oh, terrific.
Are you still the boy wonder?
Am I? And say, I'm getting a vacation in a couple of weeks, and you and I are going places. Anybody having a drink?
You and Steve have one, dear. I have some work to do. 24, 25, 26. Oh, isn't it gorgeous?
What are you so low about? Club get rated?
No, they gave me a shellacking at the tracks.
Say, that's too bad.
How the horse has been treating you?
Me? Why, I haven't been to the races in months.
Oh, I thought I saw you a few times at Belmont.
No.
That's funny. I could have sworn it was you.
Not me. I've had my nose to the grindstone.
Yeah. I noticed it was kind of red.
Had a fast one, Steve?
That's a tough job you've got. Takes you out to the races every day.
Nice detective work.
What are you going to do about it?
Nothing.
Oh, yes, you are. I told you once that Abby's a friend of mine.
Well?
Oh, you poor sap, how long do you think you can get away with this? She'll find out. She's got to find out.
Keep quiet, will you?
What for? She's going to find out because you're going to tell her.
I am not.
No? Then I will.
Rod, what's the matter?
Sit down, darling. I've got something to tell you. I want you to know beforehand I wasn't going to tell you this. But I'd rather you'd hear it from me than Steve.
What is it?
I have no job. I've been lying to you. I gave up my job a month ago. Since then, I've been killing the daytime at the races with Sig.
It's not true.
It's quite true. I think you'd better go now.
Okay.
It isn't very pleasant to realize you're a liar, too.
Along with being a rotter, waster, parasite, and all-around heel. Is that it?
You left one out.
Oh, yes. And drunkard. Well, I tried working. Tried it for just 2 weeks. Why should I check my life away? 6 months of red marks, 6 months of blue. 3 years of changing white slips for black ones and black ones for white ones. If I'm not insane by that time, I might become a banker's office boy.
You're a quitter. You want to start at the top, along with men who've worked all their lives. You want them to bow down to you and flatter you like those so-called friends of yours.
You've made it pretty plain what you thought of my friends. And of me.
But I haven't said half of it. Where would you be if you didn't have your father's money? You couldn't earn a living if you tried.
You've said enough, haven't you?
Not enough to make you realize how little you amount to. Nothing could do that. I'm going. Going back to work. Here. That's all I got out of our marriage. And it was a pretty poor exchange.
Blow.
Well, be seeing you.
So long.
Be good.
Hello, Abby.
Hello.
How you feeling?
Where's Tony? I'd like a drink.
Oh, he don't come on till 5. I'll tend bar for you. So you're washed up, eh? I'm sorry it had to happen to you, kid.
I'll get over it, I suppose. Stevie,
What?
I'm gonna need a job now.
Well, you got one. As long as the joint is open. You know, you're better off at that. You didn't belong in that outfit.
I guess not.
Or maybe I ought to say they didn't belong. I wouldn't take that whole family for your little finger.
They're all right, I guess.
You know, kid, your marriage didn't turn out so good. You know why? Because you went out of your class. Oh, I don't mean they're any better than you are, but they're different. You're better off with your own kind every time. Listen, kid. Later on, when you get over this, I want you to marry me. Don't laugh, will you?
Oh, I'm not laughing. You're a darling. You're the sweetest thing in the world. I love you, Stevie. But not that way.
Okay, kid.
Well, are we going up or not?
Sorry, folks. Not tonight. Sig will see you home, won't you, Sig? I'm tired.
Sure I will, kid.
Well, thanks for the kind good night.
I'll come back later, Rod. Don't bother. It's no bother. You don't want to be alone tonight feeling the way you do.
I'm all right. Night.
I'll give you a ring first thing in the morning.
Come in.
Were you looking for me? Sure, he's made you famous. He owes you that much, don't he?
Well, I don't want it. I'm leaving here until it dies down.
Well, maybe it's best. If it keeps reminding you.
Why don't things turn out right, Steve? You're such a grand guy. Why do I care for someone who doesn't care for me?
You and me both, kid.
Steve.
All right.
Come in.
Mr. Dean is here.
I don't want to see him.
Wait a minute. You better get it over with.
I suppose so.
Tell him to come in. And if I was in your place, anything he offered, I'd double it. That guy's done enough to you to...
Oh, you don't understand.
Oh, sure I do.
Oh, hello, Abby. Sorry to intrude in your working hours, but there didn't seem to be any other way.
I meant what I said to your lawyer, Mr. Dean. I don't want your money, so there isn't anything else to discuss.
Well, I think there is.
If she says there isn't, she means it.
I'm sorry, but I don't think she understands. She seems to think it's a question of a settlement. Of course, I appreciate her feeling about accepting that. But what you don't appreciate is that you're taking something worth much more than money from us.
What do you mean?
Well, do you think it quite fair to exploit our name in this way?
What do you mean
I'm using my own name.
It's so linked with ours, it makes very little difference which you use. It's the same or worse than accepting a settlement. Only more humiliating for us.
I see.
Of course, that may be your purpose.
Just a
Wait,
minute.
Steve. Why shouldn't I humiliate the Deans? I've been humiliated by them. Do you think I like being a cabaret gold digger who married a man for his money? Well, that's what you made of me. You wouldn't let me be anything else. Well, if all those people out there come to look at Abby Dean, the gold-digging chorus girl, that's just too bad.
Well, I'll do what I can to rectify it if you'll just retire for a while until...
All I have to do is to retire. So your name won't be in the paper. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Well, it isn't that simple for me. I've got my life to go on leading, and I'm not living anything down by running away from it. I'm sticking it out, see? And as far as the Dean name is concerned, if I had my way, I'd plaster it over every back fence in the city. Oh, Stevie.
Same thing goes, Alfred.
Supposing it's Mr. Seacrest.
It still goes. I'm not him.
Is my son here, Alfred?
Well, no, sir. I'll see, sir.
That's all right, Alfred. Come on in, Dad. Hello, Franklin. I've been trying to keep the crowd away.
We didn't expect to find you in.
Strange, isn't it? Drink?
No, thanks.
Rod, I've got to ask your help.
If it's about Abby, no. I'm sorry.
Now, look here, Rod. The girl blames us for your separation. She's bitter. Her hatred for us seems more important to her than money at the moment. However, I think if we offered her enough, she'd listen to reason. You can appeal to a sense of fairness.
I told you how I felt about that, and I haven't changed my mind.
But the girl's making a byword of our name, your name.
I don't blame her.
What's that you say?
I think she's entirely right.
Rod, I've given you everything a son could ask for. You've had everything in the world you wanted.
That's true, Dad, according to your values.
According to any values. Now, I'm not asking for gratitude, Rod. I'm reminding you of your obligation to your family.
I'm sorry, Dad. I just don't feel any. The Dean family name isn't awfully important to me, Dad. All I know is that I've lost something very dear to me.
What on earth are you talking about?
Don't you see, Dad, it was your name and money that ruined me and my marriage?
Do you believe that?
She saw it and tried to make me see it that way. I couldn't make the grade. I quit. But this time I won't.
This is a surprise, Rod. Glad to see you.
Well, maybe you won't be when I tell you what I want. I came to ask for a job.
That wouldn't be exactly a favor, considering what the Dean name would mean here. With your contact...
I'm afraid that lets me out, Mr. Litton.
But I'll be glad to make a place for you, Rod. Your father's one of my best customers. Besides, I value his friendship.
No. I'm sorry, but you see, I'm planning on getting by on my own.
I'm sorry, Mr. Preston, but with no experience,
A college education isn't so important in the business world, young man. We need men with business education.
Sorry, we just filled it. We may have another opening soon. We'll keep your address.
Well, you seem to have the personality I want and the background. But I have 3 others in line who have experience, too. How does it happen you have none?
Well, I haven't been out of college so long.
Oh, you're a college man?
Yes, sir. And I thought in this job...
Well, it's a good thing to have in your favor, but not everything.
Well, I'm sure I could make good if I had the chance.
I don't doubt that. But we haven't time to waste in training.
I see.
You might leave your address with my secretary.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I hope we can place you sometime.
Thank you. Listen, Mr. Conover, I don't want to keep anybody else out of a job, but I'm desperate. I may not be as good as those fellows out there, but I'll work twice as hard, and you won't have to tell me if I'm no good. I'll know. Only give me the chance. That's all I want.
That's all they want.
But they can get other jobs. They've had experience. It's tough for me. You can see that yourself. Look, Mr. Conover, let me take the gamble. Don't pay me any salary. Nothing. I'll live on peanuts. I'll sleep in the park. Only give me the job. I've got to have it. It means... Well, it must mean a lot to me because I never begged before.
We'll get along.
You won't regret it.
When do you want to start?
Now, if I can. I could get in half a day.
Haven't heard a word since?
The lawyer called up once.
I guess you didn't do so much harm to that name of theirs. There's been nothing in the papers for a month.
Hello, Steve.
How are you, Rod? Sit down.
Thanks.
You two know each other, don't you?
Hello, Abby.
Did you arrange this?
Me? Arrange what? What do you mean? Listen, I gotta go and put in a phone call. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Steve's never been a good liar.
That's my fault, really. I asked him to bring you here.
Why?
You wouldn't answer my telephone calls.
I didn't want to speak to you.
Didn't?
And don't.
Well, as long as I'm here, I might as well show you Exhibit A.
What's this?
Salary check. Represents a job. You used to think that was sort of important.
Who's Preston?
Me. Ex-dean.
Rod, you did this for me.
I did it for myself.
My sweet, I'm so proud of you.
Now, I suppose you'll nag me till I get a raise.
Why not? You're worth more.